This is Locked On Bets, the daily betting show that means business from the Locked On Podcast Network. Hosted by Lee Sterling and Kevin Rogers, they're dropping fearless picks with an inside edge to put money in your pocket. If there's action, they've got the lock. This is where smart bets start. It's Locked On Bets.
Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Locked On Bets. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports with you. And as always, we appreciate you making Locked On Bets your first listen of the day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Got a lot to get to today. Frozen frenzy in the NHL, college football, big one inside the American that we'll get to, and also World Series Game 4. Game 3 just ended 10 minutes ago, so we're turning around for Game 4 now after the 18-inning marathon won by the Dodgers on the Freddie Freeman walk-off. And now we go to our first play of the day, Lee. It's our wrong team player favored.
What the fuck?
WTF.
All right, so you would think with Shohei Ohtani, who, I mean, it's just like seriously, Lee, I got to say, like the sickest athlete like we've seen in so long. He hit 2 homers last night, and the Blue Jays are like, we're never pitching to him ever again. So 5 walks for him. And oh, by the way, he's pitching now in Game 4 after the 18-inning walk-off win last night, this morning, whatever you want to say. So you never normally go under on Ohtani props because he always goes over on everything. But what do you think with this K prop tonight getting the start here in Game 4 against the Blue Jays?
All right, so I think you left something out. He's going to be selling pennants outside the stadium when people are coming in. He's selling peanuts and hot dogs also in between innings. We may have never seen anything like this in the World Series. So he's incredible. Love watching him. When he comes to Miami, I usually only go to a couple games each year. I want to see him play. He is going to pitch tonight. And as we know, everyone's going to be all over him. Why? Because both teams have used so many pitchers thinking he's going to pitch maybe 8 or 9 innings. So the over-under on him as far as strikeouts is 6.5, minus 115. Props have been very good for us this postseason. I've hammered most of the under props for strikeouts in the World Series. The Blue Jays strike out less than any team in baseball. If you watched the game closely last night, they didn't win, but they were fighting off a lot of pitches. Long night for Ohtani. My algorithm has him right around 5 for this game. I think we're getting tremendous value here on the under. I mean, he might pitch 6, 7 innings. I can't see more than 7 because they usually keep him around the 100-pitch mark. So I'm going to go under 6.5 strikeouts. That's right. On Shohei Ohtani. Everyone's going to play the over here because they're figuring he's going to pitch a lot of innings. They don't realize how good these Toronto batters are at fighting off pitches and not striking out. Under 6.5 strikeouts, minus 115. Wrong. No, not team. Wrong player favored to start off our Tuesday show.
Yeah, we'll see how many arms are left after last night. Go through the box score. You see, like, everybody pitched. I mean, there was no Vladimir Guerrero would probably pitched if they needed him if they got to the 19th inning. Before we recap everything from last night, Lee, the sports equinox was last night. So NBA, NHL, everything is going. The frozen frenzy. Every NHL team is playing tonight. So what is going on with Paramount Sports as far as the deal you have now with NBA and NHL underway?
So we will probably not have a deal like this for 3 or 4 months. I'm going to offer, I know there's a lot of people who would love to try out my NBA and college basketball members starting a week from today, my NHL. So how about this? 7 days of NBA or NHL, $50 each. That's right. We're going to text them to you. You'll get it by the latest 2:30, 3 o'clock Eastern. 7 days, $50. That's it. Get a nice trial for a week. Can sample what we're doing here in the NHL and also in the NBA. And if you want to try both, just $77. So all 3 offers are up and available. If you want to just try one or the other, fine. 7 days, $50. We'll text it to you. You want to try both? $77. How do you get it? You go to ParamountSports.com or you call 800-400-9741.
Now, looking back at last night, Lee, we went 2-2 here on the show. And I mentioned Vlad Guerrero a second ago. I mean, everyone had like 9 at bats. You better hope somebody goes over on their bases. I mean, you really got to. It's got to stink if you had someone last night that didn't get any base hits. When you think about it, when you all have so many at bats, that looking back at last night, you had Vladimir Guerrero. He ended up with 2 hits. All right, he was 2 for 7. So whatever, he got the 2 hits. He finished over. But anybody that had more than. I'm looking. Everyone, Max Muncy went 0 for 7. That one's got to burn if you had Max Muncy over on any of his props. Mookie Betts was 1 for 8, too. Yeah. Ohtani was 4 for 4. Freddie Freeman had the walk-off homer. Pages, your guy, went 0 for 5. So, yeah, some of those got to burn, but at least with Vlad Guerrero, got the 2 hits, and he's been hot on the road in the playoffs, so at least that was a good win.
Yeah, and he also got walked once, too. So he had actually 8 at bats. So that's why you want to pick guys usually that bat in the top of the order. They get that extra at bat. So I felt that maybe the walk was going to hurt us there, but he was hitting the ball. Finally got it later on in extra innings.
Now, the NBA went 0 for 2 on that. The Suns got down like 16-2 out of the gate to the Jazz. They came back, made it close at halftime. They tied it late. Devin Booker missed a free throw. They got the rebound, and they put it in before the buzzer to tie it, but they end up losing to Utah in a wild game. And I got to give the Jazz some credit. They've been feisty so far. The first couple games, they beat the Clippers at home. They beat the Suns. They lost a 1-point game to the Kings. That early on, I get there's a long way to go, but the Jazz have at least showed some guts in the first few games.
They have. Yep. You got to give them their due. They play quick, and like a lot of teams right now, and right now, probably teams are not, paying a whole lot of attention game planning for them. But eventually, if they win, let's say they have like a 6-2 record, then people might spend, 20, 30 minutes game planning for them, and then they'll shut them down.
Now, the Celtics, you had the Pelicans last night, and the Celtics finally showed up, the good Celtics, after they struggled to start the season. And Boston was on a back-to-back, but they ended up winning 122-90 over the Pelicans, and no Zion for New Orleans. So tough break there. Celtics off to a good start and end up winning big.
Yeah, we thought he was going to play early. Obviously got pulled. So typical Zion, and that's why anyone who pays him more than like $5-6 million after this year, fool's gold. I mean, the guy just soft, never plays.
Now, the NFL, you did have a winner, and this was, I don't want to say one of your easier winners, but Marcus Mariota, you had an interception. Would he throw an interception? Yes, and or over half interception. But he did on the first drive, just like that, automatic. You're like, all right, we got it. Boom, done.
That was like your NBA first quarters, even better on that first drive. I mean, a little bit of bad luck, but that's what happens to bad teams. Bad teams find a way of turning the ball over, bad things happening. They dominated that game too. I mean, it was a deflection. It wasn't his fault, but like I said, you're on a bad team. You're not going to go against Patrick Mahomes too often to throw an interception, although he threw a couple. But, normally you go against bad teams because bad things happen. And, I mean, they dominated that first half, just talking about the game. They should have been up by 14, 17 points, kept going for it on fourth down. I understand you want to be aggressive, but one of those 2 times they at least should have taken a field goal. Instead, they go into the half tied 7-7, and then Kansas City blew their doors out, outscored them 21-0 in the second half. And as we all know now, Kansas City, if you think there's any team better than them in the NFL, well, you don't know what you're doing as far as handicapping or watching football.
And, you go back and you look at the Chiefs, Lee, throughout, they have 3 losses. The Charger game, they had opportunities in Brazil, and they couldn't convert. The Eagle game was close. And the Jacksonville game, they're up 14-0. And Mahomes throws the pick 6, and it kind of falls apart from there. So, really, the Chiefs, for a team that has 3 losses, they've been in all these games. It's not like they've had a stinker at all. Their last stinker was in the Super Bowl. That they've been right there. And you look at some of these other teams, the elite teams in the AFC, Baltimore's kind of dropped off, but obviously now Buffalo plays Kansas City coming up this week, so it's a huge game there, a huge measuring stick for the Bills because they just can't beat the Chiefs when it means something. But are you putting the Chiefs now as number one in the AFC?
No question. He was missing, remember, his best receiver, Rashee Rice, until two games ago. He was also missing Worthy, second best receiver, first couple games. I mean, really, his third options are Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster. Those are his 3 and 4s, and those are your 3s and 4s. You're going to be pretty darn good. So they also clamped down. They have Spagnuolo, by far the best defensive coordinator, in my opinion, in the NFL. Only defensive coordinator to win 4 Super Bowl rings. So kind of tells you how good he is. So he at halftime, he makes some really good adjustments, and they're pretty good personnel too. But everything, and even special teams, they had that kickoff, and Washington, the rookie, tries to catch it.
That was so silly. I saw that.
That was a disaster.
Let's go off on this tangent for one quick second, because this happens in college football too. On punts, and this is a kickoff, but on punts and on kickoffs, why these players make these decisions, why you're at the sideline at the 1, why you don't let it go out of bounds, why on a punt you field it inside the 5. These are things I can't get wrapped around my mind, that why you make these decisions. Not saying that you have the whole game to decide, but this is like Mahomes, where he's improvising a lot of plays. You're in there for this one play. You should know what you're going to do for this one play.
I mean, I was a punt returner, high school. So my coach always told me, plant your heels on the 10. If you have to go back at all, don't touch the ball. That's it. Just let it go. Because the chances are 75, 85%, it's going to go into the end zone. I mean, these guys are pretty skilled, these punters nowadays, but even still, it's still 60, 70%. You're backed up on the 5. I've seen guys catch balls on the 1 and 2 yard line out of their minds. That, to me, right at that point, I don't care who the guy is, you're either cut from the team or you're never going to return a punt for me again.
Yeah, and I saw that kickoff. I thought the same thing, and I'm like, what are you thinking? Just, I don't know. But really quick on this before we look at some NHL in a little bit. Are you checked out on Washington? You looked at them, and was everything just breaking their way last year? I know Jaden Daniels been hurt. He's missed a couple games, so that doesn't help them. But I feel like everything kind of went their way last year. They had the Hail Mary against Chicago. Yeah, they played very well against Detroit in the divisional playoff game. I'm not going to take that away from them. But we're kind of like everything broke their way last year, and now it's just not this year.
That's an understatement, Kevin. They only had one player injured going into the playoffs. I mean, when have you ever seen something like that in the NFL? Everything, you're right, everything broke their way this year, having some bad luck, without some of their best receivers. Terry McLaurin, he had missed 4 straight games after, you could have sensed it from the beginning, the holdout of his in preseason, and then the injuries starting to mount. So, yeah, I think they're done. They're cooked.
Yeah, and now the Chiefs looking pretty good. They got the big matchup with the Bills coming up on Sunday. We still got NHL to get to, a couple hidden gems. We got 2 hidden gems today. We didn't go with 1. We went with 2 hidden gems. So we're both wearing our mining helmets today. So that is coming up, and we also have a college football big game inside the American, in fact, between Navy and North Texas for Saturday. We're going to break down coming up. You are listening to the Tuesday edition of Locked On Bets. All right, it's time now to talk about FanDuel, and you know what time it is? Yeah, it's the NFL. It's here. We're almost halfway through the season, and we roll on as FanDuel is an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. You get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And what can you bet on? Well, we have another big week of the NFL coming up. Chiefs and Bills, they are hooking up. And with that matchup Sunday afternoon in Buffalo, Patrick Mahomes, he is the MVP favorite at FanDuel. You can bet on whether he'll win the MVP. You can bet on his passing yards prop. Also, Josh Allen and what he can do in that game coming up on Sunday. Things kick off on Thursday with the Ravens and Dolphins in Miami. And also the Chiefs, they are the Super Bowl favorites right now at FanDuel. So you can bet on the Super Bowl, AFC, NFC winners, MVP, Rookie of the Year, all of that, and also the games, also the player props. So many choices at FanDuel. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. We continue here with another, with honestly, Lee, looking forward to tonight with the NHL, the Frozen Frenzy. Everybody's playing. And the NHL, what they've done the last few years is start at 6 o'clock and stagger the start. So it's like every 15 minutes. So you're not having 10 games at 7 o'clock or whatever it is that you're starting at 6. Final games at 11. So you have hockey all night. And Lee, let's get right to it. We have a pair of hidden gems. I'll begin with the first one.
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
And Lee, the game everyone's keeping an eye on tonight, Columbus and Buffalo. And they're meeting in Western New York. What's so funny? So
we talked about Kevin Buffalo. I've been talking about for like 5 years on the show, and they've been the biggest butt of almost everyone's joke until this year.
Now, here's something interesting with the Sabres. I'm going to go with Columbus in the first period, by the way. So that's my play. Columbus first period against Buffalo. So the Sabres actually were a really good first period team last year, one of the best in the league. They always got off to good starts, but then not so good finishes. Unfortunately, this year it's gone it's not gone backwards. It's gone kind of like consistent, where they're not good at the beginning and not good at the end. So Buffalo is 1-3-5 in the first period this year. One time in 9 games they've led through 20 minutes. They're coming off a pair of tough games with Toronto. They beat them at home. They lost in overtime on the road Saturday. Columbus, I got an interesting nugget here. Columbus, they trailed Pittsburgh 2-1 at the end of one on Saturday, came back and beat the Penguins. But Columbus has not allowed a goal in the first period in back-to-back games. So when they allow a goal in the first period, they've allowed 0 in the next game. So that is my play. Columbus against Buffalo in the first period tonight. They meet. That's kind of the appetizer for Chiefs-Bills before Sunday. So for people that are ready for that game, this is the breadstick game.
What time does it start, Kevin? What's the start time on that one?
On the Blue Jackets Sabres, they're starting at 11:30 a.m. to get it out of the way. Okay. No, the game's coming up. I believe it's a 7 something. I got to check it out.
7:22.
They're going to try to get it before all the rush hour in Buffalo. 6:45. 6:45 is the face off there in Buffalo. All right. Okay. So with that being said, and we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings on that one. So 7:15, Islanders and Bruins, Lee, our second hidden gem.
To find a diamond in the rough, you need to dig a little deeper for those hidden gems.
All right, so the Bruins got blitzed last night by Ottawa. Gave 7 goals to the Senators, and now they couldn't capitalize off that win over the Avalanche on Saturday. Now they take on the Islanders, and that game is in Beantown tonight. New York 4-3-1. They started off this season. They lost 3 straight. They've kind of caught fire. So Lee, what do you like here at the total with the Islanders and Bruins in Beantown, Boston tonight?
So everyone knows about the Islanders. They play that defensive game. They sit back and they wait for you to make mistakes, and that's the only time usually where they go on the offense. So talked a few weeks ago about the New York Islanders being an over team this year, despite being a more controlled, slower-paced team in recent years. Well, they made some changes defensively. They even fired their goaltending coach, and it has made a difference in their playing style. The team is 4-0-1 the last 5, but the over 6 is now 7-0-1 in the last 8 games this season. Why stop now? They're averaging 1 power play goal allowed per game so far, and they're giving up the second most high danger chances per game in the NHL. Remember, the best defenseman on the entire team is this year's first overall pick, 18-year-old Matthew Schaefer. He's a fantastic player, but he has absolutely no help on the back end. On Boston's side of things, there's one big reason to expect goals tonight. Backup goalie Jonas Korpisalo. He's in net for the Bruins. This guy has not had a save percentage better than .900 since 2022, and he's given up 3+ goals in every game so far, despite playing 3 of his 4 appearances at home. Boston was blown out 7-2, as you mentioned last night, by the Senators. should have motivation to come out flying tonight. But with a backup goalie in net, I think we're going to see a 4-3, 5-3 final here. We're going to go over 6 total goals, minus 110. And the Boston Bruins and New York Islanders, it's another get out that shovel, hidden gem.
Korpisalo has given up 3, 4, 3, 7 this year. So they have not been low-scoring games, to say the least, when these teams hook up. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Should be a fun night in the NHL. Got a lot of games everyone's playing, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Coming up, we are going to break down North Texas and Navy. Big game inside the American coming up on Sunday in Denton. It's called the Little D. It's right by Dallas, the Big D. But it should be a really good game. A lot of stake there for the American title there in that game. So that is coming up. You are listening to the Tuesday edition of Locked On Bets. Locked On Bets continues here on a Tuesday. Kevin Rogers and Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports. We have made it to the lock portion of the show. So now it's time for today's lock of the day.
Open it, open it, open it. Lee has the key to the lock of the day.
You know, Lee, a lot of people don't want to talk about the American conference. No longer the AAC, just the American. Navy 7-0, North Texas 7-1, Memphis 7-1, Tulane 6-1, USF 6-2. Not bad there at the top. And two of those teams meeting in Denton coming up on Saturday with Navy and North Texas. The Mean Green laying 6.5, the total 65.5.
So I don't think there's one great team that's not in the Power 4 conferences, but there's 5 really good ones in this conference. So, you know, people talk about some of these other conferences, like the Sun Belt is way down this year. But this conference is actually really solid. Most people don't know the 6 team that's undefeated this year. They know about Ohio State, know about Indiana, Texas A&M, probably maybe eventually could guess that Georgia Tech and BYU are undefeated. But the 6th undefeated team is Navy. Now, they haven't played the toughest schedule. They are 7-0, but they're undefeated. And North Texas only lost 7-1, was to South Florida. Defense played terrible. So the line on this game is North Texas minus 6.5, total 65. So I'm doing the game, and I'm like, why am I trying to butt my head here to figure out a side? So here's the deal with both teams. North Texas has scored between 32 and 59 points in all 8 games. Haven't had one bad game. And they even hit that total against a solid South Florida defense. The other team, Navy, has scored between 32 and 52 in every game except for one. I guess when they played Rice, who knows what happened. Wasn't a lot of turnovers. I remember the game, just wasn't many possessions. Both teams were running the triple option, so that might have hurt it. They scored 21 points, way off game. They turned the ball over once. Both quarterbacks, North Texas quarterback Drew Mestemaker. Mestemaker, 21 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. The kid never started a game in high school. I think when he started the bowl game, it was the first time he had ever started a game in his career, which is crazy. He's also, on top of the 21 touchdowns and only thrown 4 interceptions, ran for 4 touchdowns. Navy quarterback, Blake Horvath, they actually throw the ball way more than they've ever done before. Thrown for 1,063 yards, 7 touchdowns. He has run for 814 yards and 12 touchdowns. You watch both of these defenses, watch them all, look at both of them, and look at all the players, because you're never going to probably see them ever playing in the NFL. There is no talent on either side of the ball. Tackling is optional for both of these defenses. This is an easy one here. We're going to go with a level 2 lock over 65 points. North Texas and Navy. Get on it now. This line might close 69, 70, 71. Feel real strongly about the over here in North Texas Navy, but bet it now. Don't wait until the end of the week.
Yeah, that should be a very entertaining game there. And a lot of those American games have been pretty entertaining so far this season. And Lee, on one of your shorts, you had Memphis Saturday. They ended up beating USF outright as a home dog. And before we get to Paramount Sports, with the shorts that we've been filming now, we had some at the end of last week, and you released one for the 49ers and Giants yesterday. So you want those bite-sized picks, you can find them on YouTube, those 1-minute shorts, and Lee and I will be having them.
Yeah, a lot of games where the lines are moving. You want to get on it now. You don't want to wait until 6:30, 7 o'clock Eastern to make your bets. You're looking to find out some info early before the lines move. That's what we're going to do for people in a lot of cases. And like I said, first time this year, may not happen probably until the 2026. We're going to offer 7 days of NBA selections, get you primed and ready for the college season starting next Tuesday. 7 days of NHL, just $50. The games are texted to you. You'll get them by 2:30, 3 o'clock Eastern each and every day. Don't have specials like this often, but that's why I like to, put these out there on Tuesdays. It's not the Monday recap or the Thursday, Friday getting ready for the weekend. So this just my way of saying, hey, here's a little nugget, and this way you can get involved and try us out, or both of them combined, just $77. And it looks like we're going to have a 45, 50 unit release in college football for my service on Saturday. So you want to get involved. We don't call it November coming up. We call it Dovember. Normally $4.97 for the entire month of action. Use coupon code SAVE100, brings the price down $100 for 5 weeks of action. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Locked On Bets. We'll have the videos. We have the shorts there as well. Also, the podcast version you can find on Spotify or Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back with you coming up on Wednesday for more selections. World Series continues on Wednesday as well. For Lee Sterling, I am Kevin Rogers. We'll talk to you again very soon right here. You've been listening to Locked On Bets right here on the Locked On Podcast Network.